From the Center for Agricultural Profitability at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, this is Nebraska Farmcast. I'm Ryan Evans. Foreign entities have been buying U.S. agricultural land for decades, but recent high-profile purchases have shown a spotlight on the practice. Critics argue that it threatens our food security and allows foreign powers to exploit our resources, while others might see economic benefits outweighing any risks. A new article published on our site at cap.unl.edu looks at the scope of foreign farmland acquisitions, the countries involved, the incentives driving this investment, and key pros and cons for American agriculture. It's written by Dr. Larry Van Tassell, professor in agricultural economics here at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln and director of the Center for Agricultural Profitability. He's with me now to talk more about it. Hey, Larry, thanks for joining me.
Hey, thank you, Ryan. It's a pleasure to be here today.
So what prompted you to research this topic of foreign investment in U.S. farmland in the first place?
Well, the subject hit the newswire earlier this year when security concerns were raised after a Chinese-based firm purchased 300 acres of farmland in North Dakota that was located only 12 miles from an Air Force base. That news prompted several inquiries regarding how much land in the U.S. was owned by foreign entities. So Professor Dave Aiken and I started looking into the issue.
And your article notes that foreign entities now control about 3% of total U.S. agricultural land. For context, how does that percentage compare historically?
Well, Ryan, foreign investment in the U.S. has been around since the early days of the country. But there has definitely been an increase in foreign ownership over the past decade and a half.
And you mentioned this. We've heard a lot in the news about foreign ownership of U.S. ag land, especially pertaining to China. So what did your research reveal about the breakdown of foreign ownership by country when it comes to ag land in the U.S.?
Surprising to me was the fact that of the 41 million acres held by foreign entities, Canadian-based companies or individuals held nearly 1/4 of that land, followed by the Netherlands, Italy, the United Kingdom, Portugal, and Germany. Chinese-based ownership ranked 18th on the list, with just under 200,000 acres, most of which is owned by Smithfield, which is the largest pork producing company in the U.S., the largest pork processing company in the U.S., which was purchased by a Chinese firm in 2013.
Okay, and what do you think or see as the main incentives that are attracting foreign investors to purchase or lease American farmland?
That's a good question, Ryan. There are probably several reasons. First, the U.S. has the world's largest consumer market, along with perhaps the world's best export platform that makes exporting products to other countries less complicated. Another reason is the business environment in the U.S. is enhanced by access to capital and natural resources. We have an educated workforce, a stable democracy, a transparent and predictable legal system, plus we have a lot of product innovation going on in the country. An additional motivator is that our federal incentive programs, such as most of our farm programs, foreign investors are allowed to participate in. But a major incentive over the past decade or so that has led to the purchase or lease of agricultural lands by foreign entities has been our clean energy incentives. A large number of foreign investors purchasing ag lands have wind or solar in their company net title and are thus suspected of purchasing or leasing many of these agricultural lands for clean energy generation.
And getting to the points being made out there just about the pros and cons of this foreign investment in ag land here in the U.S., can you talk more about why some people see this negatively?
Ryan, many are concerned with the erosion of national security, the theft of technology, the potential for intelligence gathering, and the possible foreign control of the U.S. food and energy supply system. Also, competition for land from other countries has proven to be a concern in some areas because of the natural resources that are utilized. For example, a Saudi-based dairy giant owns 10,000 acres of alfalfa land in Arizona that is irrigated from scarce groundwater down there, with the hay being shipped back to Saudi Arabia to feed their large dairy herds.
How about on the other side? Are there, on the pro side, arguments to be made for foreign investment in the U.S., ag land in particular, being a positive thing?
Yeah. Well, the real benefit to the U.S. is the economic development and the job market growth occurring from foreign investment. Having several foreign companies take up residency in the U.S. has also reduced imports, as these products are produced in the U.S. rather than in their home countries and then shipped over to the U.S.
You recently led a webinar that we did here at the Center for Ag Profitability around this topic, and one of the questions I think that came in on that, if I remember right, was if any of this foreign ownership of ag land is affecting land prices or rental rates. Have you seen any evidence of that?
Yeah, the USDA recently examined changes in ag land values and land rental lease rates across counties throughout the United States. What they found was no statistical differences in agricultural land values or rental rates based on the level of foreign investment in each county. Now, obviously, though, Ryan, the more individuals in the market for ag land, the greater the demand for the land, which would thus increase the land or lease price given the limited supply of land in the U.S. But the number of foreign investors in the market for U.S. ag land was small enough they did not significantly or consistently influence the land prices or lease rates.
Now, this issue has been in front of Congress recently. Do you have a sense of what the future might hold as far as just the trend of foreign ownership of U.S. ag land, and then any insight about the policy being discussed that might impact that?
Well, I believe, Ryan, that in the future you'll see continual investment in the U.S. ag lands as long as that investment produces an income for whoever invests in it. But the national security seems to be the real issue at hand right now. I expect to see laws, both state and national, that prohibit or restrict the ownership of U.S. soil by countries we are having security issues with. Currently, that would be China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea.
All right, that is great information from Larry Van Tassell, again, Professor of Agricultural Economics and Director of the Center for Ag Profitability. Check out his article on this topic in the notes for this podcast, as well as on our website at cap.unl.edu. And I know that, Larry, you'll be working on some more material on this topic as well, especially pertaining to Nebraska.
Yes, I'd like to really take a look at what is going on in Nebraska regarding this issue.
Great. Well, we look forward to that, and thanks so much for stopping by to share.
Thank you, Ryan.
Nebraska Farmcast is a production of the Center for Agricultural Profitability at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. For the latest research-based information and education resources to manage your farm or ranch operation, visit our website at cap.unl.edu. That's cap.unl.edu.